Hey everybody, welcome to spraguewoodturning. My name is Jim. If you haven't been here before, this is predominantly a turning channel. Each and every week I show people how to make things on the lathe. Now this will be the fourth video in the new workshop build series. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this bonus content that I'm providing. And in this part 4, we're going to finish off the dirt work for this year anyway. And we're also going to install the dust collection system up in the attic of the new workshop. All right, without further ado, this is part 4 of the new workshop build series. Enjoy. All right, so this is what they got done on the outside. Everything is Tyvek now. This is the 1 inch insulation they're putting on the outside here. This should give us our 26 walls. So as you can see, they've done a pretty good job here today. I wish I could show you in here. It's kind of dark though. Turn this light on, I guess, and see what happens. A little better. So this, of course, was full of snow from the 2 snowstorms that we had before the roof could go on. So I spent a couple of hours today shoveling out as much of this as I can. This is frozen. I mean, this here is straight up ice. The whole thing is. So today or tomorrow and the next day it's supposed to be plus 10 and raining. So we're hoping that it's going to melt all of the snow in here and we'll be able to squeegee it out the door. That's the hope. Anyway, I told David I was a little skeptical. The slab is pretty cold and I don't know, it's sheltered in this building, so it's not going to get much. So hopefully it does melt though, because it'd be a lot easier to clean up with a squeegee than trying to scrape it all up with a shovel or a scraper of some sort. I don't know if they got anything done on the front or not. Oh, it is raining though. I still got some Tyvek to put on there in the front. But you know, it's starting to look like a structure. That's for sure. And so yeah, I don't know, after this warm weather comes, hopefully that'll soften the ground up and then we'll be able to get Merlin back and get him back on the dozer. But I don't know, I think she might be done for this year. But anyway, that's not a ton of progress. It doesn't look like a ton of progress, but of course, well, it's wintertime, so it's a little tough to build in wintertime. That is certainly a thing for sure. But anyway, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I imagine they're going to carry on with putting on all of the 1 inch styrofoam on the outside. And I asked David, he plans on putting on, we're going to put vinyl siding on this, by the way. And I asked him if he plans on doing that, and he goes, yeah, you should be able to still put it on. He says, we're not going to put it on if it's, you know, minus 30 Celsius. But so we'll leave the majority of the siding inside the structure and then just kind of pull out a half a box at a time and put it on. I'm like, yeah, I guess that works. If you haven't done vinyl siding, it can be quite brittle when it's really cold. So that's why I asked him if it was going to happen this year. The carport, I found this out today. The carport that's supposed to go on this side of the workshop won't be on until the house goes in next year. And the reason for that is because they have to dig down to get the lines for the septic system. So, you know, if you've got the carport on there, it's going to be awful hard to do that. So we're not going to have the bathroom this year. I don't know if I've mentioned that or not. The septic system isn't hooked up and we haven't got a well in, so there'll be no bathroom in the workshop this year. So, but anyway, when the house goes in next year, we'll get that all hooked up, and I'm looking forward to actually having a washroom in one of my workshops. So the first time that I'll be able to have a workshop with a washroom in it. And part of the reason for that is if you're trying to warm up your epoxies, you can just put your jugs of epoxy in warm water in a sink, and then it flows nicely and it mixes nicely and it pours nicely. So that's another reason to have hot water out in the workshop. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. I'll let you know what happens tomorrow. let's hope for some warm temperatures and lots of rain to get rid of this white stuff. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. Well, good news. We've had a couple of days, warm days, and of course the rain. So all of our snow is now gone, and Merlin is back to do some more dozing. So that's great. Hopefully we can get this all done this time around. So anyway, I'm going to set up a time lapse, and anyway, I'll talk to you after that. I think these time lapses are really cool, especially when they're moving dirt around. So anyway, cue the time lapse now. All right, well, it is well, it's Friday, so I'll give you your daily update on the workshop here. So I had a big day today. All of the doors got installed. Nice wide trim on these doors and around the windows. Absolutely love that. Unfortunately, we do not have garage door yet, so hopefully before Christmas that will be in, and we'll get that installed. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. It's been it's turned quite cold. Whew. But I take you inside, but it's pretty dark in there. Here's this side. 2 windows are installed there, and as you can see, they basically got the 1-inch insulation all the way around. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I was just talking to Merlin. We're all done for the year, but it's amazing what has been accomplished here this year. I'll take you down right now and show you. try and not blind you with that sun that's going down. So anyway, we shave this off. This is relatively straight now. Up to the workshop. Liking the way that looks. Wow, what a difference this has made. And we still have that to knock down, over there, and there's a pile of topsoil way down there at the end that's going to get spread out too. So he thinks that there's enough material here to easily have a nice flat slope all the way down to the lake, well, to the tree line for the lake. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not, but there's topsoil that's pushed into the tree line. So when they come back with the excavator next year, I'll have them reach in there and pull all of that material out so that we can top dress this down here as well. But yeah, I mean, I think that it looks fantastic. The wife thinks that it looks fantastic, so that's also important. Not just me. But yeah, it's getting too, we're supposed to be getting some really cold temperatures here in the next couple of days. So there's so much moisture in the ground from that rainstorm that we had that this is just going to freeze solid, and he's not going to be able to do anything. I mean, that's not a real big bulldozer, so you know, it's asking a lot. He's having trouble even getting into that pile over there with all the big rocks in it to try and push it down. But you know, I think we got lots of material there, hopefully anyway. If not, we can certainly dig some more out on the other side of the property if we need to, but he doesn't think we're going to need to, so that's good. Okay, well, that's going to do it for today. I'm not exactly sure what's coming up. I think what do we got left here? I think maybe they're going to do the vapor barrier in the ceiling and put up the strapping. So when that happens, I'm going to rope my brother-in-law into putting some conduit, some 4-inch conduit up in the attic space so that we can use it for dust collection. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll keep you updated as we go. All right, the guys just left, so I'll give you a quick update on what's happening today. Today is Wednesday. I'm not exactly sure where we are in the video, to be perfectly honest with you. All the days are kind of blending into the same now. But one of the things that I wanted to point out, because I know that there's probably going to be some comments. So, you know, we've got this 1-inch insulation on the outside, and in behind this is the Tyvek. So you'll see how they've only done the ends and not the whole thing. And as it was explained to me, if moisture, well, you can see the Tyvek up there, if moisture does happen to get behind this, it's really got no way to get out if this is sealed off. Now, they're supposed to be able to have vapor come through this, but like my builder said, in a lot of cases it's not. So what will happen is if moisture gets in behind, it'll mildew, and then of course you've got issues. So that's why it's only taped vertically and not horizontally, because I know that there's probably going to be a few questions about that. Really liking the doors and windows that we went with. Close this so you can look at the hardware. That's what the hardware we're going to use. Levers, that way if you've got stuff in your hands, you can open your doors. I think Dave says most of the houses he does now, it's all levers. Kind of round knobs are going out of style. But yeah, I mean, they're, I don't know what, I can't remember what the terminology is for these square pieces that are built back, kind of square things off. I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me. So yeah, they got a little ways to go up there for the insulation. I think on this side, for the most part, it's pretty much done. Yeah, all the way up to the peak of the roof, so that's good. And they've actually started doing the soffit. Started going there. And I believe the whole backside is done. Yeah, the whole backside's done, so that's awesome. The other thing too that I'll point out is, here, let me go where maybe there's a little bit more light here. We're starting to lose our light in a hurry. This special tape, so they put the windows in and then they run tape all the way up to the top on both sides, and then they run a piece across the top, and then that way any water comes down, it'll hit that and it should just run off of this and then down to the ground. So I'm really happy to see that. And of course they tuck taped on the very top of it. And if you don't know what tuck tape is, that's what this is what I'm referring to here. This is mostly used for vapor barrier inside. Speaking of that, I'll quickly, it's so dark in here and we don't have any power, and I don't know when we're going to get in power, because NB Power is, well, not being nice to us. I don't know, they keep telling us that we're going to get power and then we don't get it. So anyway, the truss vents are in, and then at the eave it's all been blocked off, so they plan on putting in blown in insulation. And the vast, well, not maybe the vast majority, 2/3 of the strapping is done. Still got this side to do over here, but yeah, it's quite a ways over there. Yeah, probably about 1/3 left to do. But all the vapor barrier is up, and then over the holidays, oh, I gotta shut that off. Go outside here so we can see. Over the holidays, my brother-in-law and I are going to go in and put up the dust collection system in the attic before they blow in the insulation. We don't want to be fooling around with that afterwards. Again, I may have already said this, I don't know. It's one day after another, and I don't know what I said on the previous day. But anyway, that's your update. Getting to this stage, things really seem to slow down because of course the framing is so fast. Yeah, so the roof won't be done until the new year. Hopefully it's first thing in the new year. Not a super huge fan of just the Tyvek sitting up there and no shingles, but it is what it is. All right, well that's it. I gotta get out of here before it gets dark. I don't want it to get too scared out here by myself. Actually seen a fox on the camera here yesterday or the day before, and there's a coyote hanging around here too. So anyway, I'll keep you updated as we're going here. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully they'll have all of that strapping up. So anyway, see you tomorrow. So my son Braden was up for Christmas. He's the guy that actually made the steady rest, for those of you who are wondering. And of course I got my brother-in-law in the blue jacket. And we also had my niece's boyfriend was here the day before, and we were kind of talking about things. And you know, my initial thought was to just do like an oval piece up in the attic area. That way you could have drops wherever you wanted them along that length. And then eventually we figured that, you know, this here system should work better. There'd be less piping, should probably flow a little better. I will say that, you know, we're not gluing any of these fittings except for the pieces that are going to be hanging down into the workshop. I definitely wouldn't want them. Those would be easy to get pulled off when you're attaching pipes to them in this kind of business. So, you know, in my last workshop for 14 years, I used this 4-inch electrical plastic conduit. And then we're using some PVC fittings here that you use for plumbing, just to try and keep our runs fairly as straight as possible, if you will. And that will also allow us to line things up. You know, kind of limited by doing this over the holidays. A lot of the stores were closed, and trying to find things that would work. And this was the this was the setup that we came up with anyway. And I think that it's going to work perfectly fine. So we did a lot of the majority of the taping of all the fittings down on the floor. And then, of course, once we moved it up in the attic, we can start assembling things. You know, one of the important things that I did want, I wanted the down pieces to line up in the workshop. I didn't want them to be just here, there, and everywhere because that would bother me. So the vast majority of it, of course, was laid along the very center of the workshop. And then we just kind of teed it off, or wired it off, if you will, into other areas in the workshop. So, you know, this taping these is, I think, a very important thing. If you glue these together and then you have an issue up in the attic, well, you know, good luck. It's not going to be easy to rectify. So 14 years, like I said, in my last workshop, didn't have any issues. And, you know, if you do have a blockage, you can just untape it, pull the pipe apart, and sort it out. So, you know, I didn't really do any real filming up in the attic here because we're just kind of working through things, laying things out and what's going to work and what's not going to work. Glad that my son was there to help us because my knees are shot and I just can't do any of this bending over like he's doing. So he's actually cleaning up some areas. It was also very important to clean up any matching surfaces to get rid of any burrs that we caused when cutting the pipes. So yeah, it's one of these things that you definitely want to do now because up in this attic, usually you're going to have about a foot to 16 inches of blown in insulation. And if you don't do this now, well, you're going to have to be doing a lot of shoveling, moving things around, and doing it before the blown in insulation was certainly the way to go here. So right now we're just kind of laying things out, finding out exactly where we want it to go, and then eventually we will bring in pieces of wood to put underneath the ends that are going to be sitting down, you know, piped down into the workshop. You know, it doesn't matter really so much if this is level or not. To be perfectly honest with you, we're not moving water here, we're moving air, so it really shouldn't matter all that much. So yeah, here we are gluing up the little stubs that are going to be poked down through the ceiling. So that's what we're doing here, cleaning and then gluing on the PVC pipes. Yeah, you can see there's the snow's back. We've had a number of storms this year, but you know, as I'm doing this voiceover right now, the snow is all gone again. Getting rain, warm temperatures, snow, rain. It's been a really weird winter here so far. But, you know, we haven't lived here we haven't lived here in 19 years. So they're telling us that, you know, this is fairly normal here the last 2 winters anyway. So, you know, I don't really have a problem with warmer winters. I'm gonna be honest with you there. But anyway, yeah, we made some tees and then just, you know, threw a couple screws in them. Again, this thing isn't holding any weight. I don't need any major structure to hold these pipes in place. And then we did take some metal strapping and then ran it over top of the pipes just to keep them secured so they're not going to move around. When you're down on the workshop, you just don't want the stuff to be moving around when you're trying to hook hoses to the little stubs that are going to be sticking down through the ceiling. So yeah, I mean, this is a fairly cheap, I think it's fairly cheap. You know, I did a recalculation and I think that, you know, just the piping that you're seeing up in the attic and the fittings is around probably $400, $450. And then I still have a bunch of other piping that I'll run around the outside of the workshop.
Sorry, man.
Right on top of my head.
You okay?
How did that fall through there?
I don't know. Just disconnect it and she looked right over me.
Got me on the top of the head and smacked me in the face too at the same time. How's that even possible? Jeez. Yeah, you better be alive.
Hello, before you do that. Sorry, man.
Kill me.
You know that's what I was.
How in the hell did that happen? I can't believe that fell through that hole.
That's like a good.
Let's remember that for the future.
Yeah. It just slipped out of his hand and boom, right, bounced off the ladder and right for your head.
Hit me right on top of the head, and then it spun around and smacked me in the face.
I hope you got it on camera.
Oh, the camera's running. And I've got it in normal running mode too, so I'll have to go beep, 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 beep. So yeah, that happened, and probably one of the more funnier parts in that whole thing is if you look up in the attic, my son's holding the light, and he's laughing so hard the light is shaking. He's laughing so hard, and you know, hey, I'll be honest with you, if the shoe was on the other foot and I was up in the attic, I'd probably be laughing pretty hard too. Anyway, once we got the stubs down through the ceiling, I then just wrapped the vapor barrier with some tuck tape, and that was it. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Sorry about the language. Well, all right, we got the dust collection up in the attic yesterday. We don't have the generator here today, so it's not real bright in here. But I will try and show you what we got done. So there's one stub sticking down. There's the one over there where I got bonked on the head from. Another one here. And of course, there. And this one is going to be the one that's down in the dust collection, air compressor, and furnace room. So that's why there's one there. Keep in mind that we're going to have a 10-foot wall out all the way along here. So that's why those stubs are where they are and not further this way, because on the top of this wall that's going to be all along here, it's going to be dust collection as well, all the way around the perimeter of the shop. And then that way, I've got lots of areas where I can use the dust. Well, I'll have lots of down spouts, I'll call them, that you can hook up machines. And I mean, I just don't know the layout, and I may have already said this in a voiceover, but you know, I don't know the layout. So that's kind of one of the things where I'm not exactly sure where these drops are. We really seriously debated on putting one right in dead center of the workshop, and that won't be a bad, or I shouldn't say, it won't be a big deal to do that in the future if I need to. But anyway, I'll go up in the attic and I'll kind of show you what we did up there. The time lapse, I'm not sure how well that worked because I haven't even really had a good look at it. But anyway, I'll go up in the attic and I'll show you what we've done up there. All right, so what you're looking at is the downspout into the dust collection room. And that's how we secured the pipes in place. I don't think there needs to be anything more than that. That's not going anywhere. And of course, comes across, I would have liked to have had one more electrical sweep, but I was kind of up against time because in a couple of days here, they're going to be coming to hopefully do the wiring. So, and you know, when that's done, they're going to be insulating. Anyway, we ran it right down the center of the workshop here. So in the future, let me walk down here and I'll show you. So in the future, if I wanted to put in another downspout there, I can do it right there between the trusses. So that'll work out just fine. As far as airflow and restrictions are concerned, you know, this isn't ideal, but we think that there's not going to be any issues. I never had any issues at my last shop for 14 years. So hopefully it's not going to be an issue up here. But if it is, this will be easy to find because of course it's in the center of the trusses. And well, we know that one's close to the opening there. So that'll be easy to find. I know that, you know, these are all going to be across from each other. And now that I've got this video record, I'll know exactly where they are as well. So anyway, let's take a walk down there. So yeah, it would have been nice to have just a straight Y. I guess that's kind of a straight Y. But in order to put this electrical sweep in here, it wouldn't have matched up. So that's one of the reasons why we went with this. And you know, I don't think that this is ever going to be an issue. Again, it's all tied down with that metal strapping. That's not going anywhere. Same thing with that. That isn't going anywhere either. I'll probably cut those off because those are just those are a cut hazard waiting to happen. And there's the other one over there. And that's what it looks like down there. So, you know, the other thing too, looking at it now, there's a lot of headroom in here. And I don't know how much more it would have been to put, say, a dormer off the back, but I don't know. It just really wasn't in the budget. But, I mean, that's got to be, it's got to be 8 feet at least. So, yeah, I could have put a dormer off the back, and I know there's probably going to be some comments saying, you know, Jim, why didn't you do that? Money. that's the main reason. But anyway, let's head downstairs and we'll finish this video. So, as far as the updates on the outside, I don't know if I showed you this or not, but anyway, I'll do it again. This has been 2 weeks in the process, so it's hard to keep track of video that I already shot. But as you can see, the soffit is up on the gable ends on both of the ends here, along the back of the workshop. Everything is now insulated. Walk around to the front here. So we're going to be putting pot lights in the eaves here, so that's why that's not done. It is done on the gable end on this side though. So yeah, we're waiting on the siding to be done, but I think before we do anything, we're gonna have to wait for the electrician to show up to do all of his work, and then hopefully we'll be able to move forward with some other stuff. So yeah, there's a soffit all done on that end, except for up there. Good to see that everything's insulated. Anyway, let me know what you think about this content. And again, this is just bonus content. It's not my regular Friday upload stuff. I will certainly take any suggestions on the dust collection. I still have to run the ground wire. That is one thing that definitely has to happen, so that, you know, your dust collection system doesn't go kaboom, because we don't want that to happen. Some people may not realize it, but dust collection systems can be very dangerous if they're not grounded properly. A little bit of static electricity, all that dust, and kaboom. So it's definitely important to ground those systems. So yeah, I mean, drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think. I might have to use some of these videos when we go on a trip, but for right now, it's going to be bonus content. All right, well, that's it. Yeah, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.